Okay, we're at the Hangout Sessions, and the special one has left the building for the second time. Jose Mourinho was gone by mutual consent, sacked, however you want to put it. Christian, what were your first thoughts when you heard the news break?
Well, I was shocked. To be fair, I was really shocked. Yeah, it just like popped up on my phone, and yeah, first of all, I was like, it's like double taking and that, so I didn't even think it was true. I just thought, it was a bit of a wind up, but yeah, it just kind of strikes me. Just the timing's a bit random. I know like a lot of people will probably be like, well, yeah, like how we've been doing.
Mm,
It's not really the surprising that he would get sacked, but I just thought if he was going to get sacked, you'd do it, like straight after the Leicester game, or like Tuesday,
mm.
or like when we got a game on Saturday, like 2 days before that. It just seems kind of random. So
I'd imagine they've been looking for a replacement since then, because I think someone's going to get appointed within the next. By Sunday night, I think someone will be in, or Monday. By Monday afternoon, latest, I think someone will be in. I could be wrong, but I feel like maybe
well,
that's what they've been doing. But I don't
yeah,
know.
apparently they've already got someone lined up. Okay.
Gus Gus Hiddink, I'm
Apparently,
hearing. Gus Hiddink, I'm hearing. He's favourite by a
yeah,
long
I'm
shot.
kidding.
What would you
Yeah,
think
I
about
mean, well,
like?
that's
What would you think about like Hiddink? It seems like such a Chelsea. I can imagine that. Like I can just see that happening. I wouldn't be surprised if he's got a good relationship with Roman anyway. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. Well, I mean, he was there sort of what 5 years ago or something.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I
he was
forgot about
there
that.
before, and we weren't like when we won the FA Cup,
I
sort of in the
forgot
second
about
half
that.
of the season. So
Mm,
he obviously has been there before, and I think he obviously was only there temporarily. Obviously, it was all good. So he probably is still held in quite high regard by like Abramovich, the owner, and
yeah.
some of the players that are still there. So yeah, I mean he would be the obvious choice, and obviously I hope he's working now after leaving the Dutch national team.
Mm.
I mean, we would probably want a temporary manager up until the end of the season, someone to turn it around. So I think he would be the obvious choice. I think.
So yeah, it I think it will probably be him. Like that's yeah. So I'm saying like by Monday afternoon, I think he'll come in.
Mm.
It's you said
I,
you
I
said you seem shocked, but I feel like it was a matter of time before it just didn't seem right there. And I was very okay, not shocked because Mourinho just says what he feels and says what he wants. But after his press conference on the weekend. That was it. That's like what some of the stuff he says is like the number one way to like lose your dressing room. Really, like I thought the
Yeah, I think he is definitely one of those characters. Love him or hate him, he's a big personality, and obviously some of the stuff that he has said in the past, and probably the most recent thing about betrayal after the
yeah
game on Monday. I think yeah, that was probably the final nail in the coffin, as it were, really, because he obviously does wind people up the wrong way,
mm,
and there was obviously something going on. Like I say, my initial reaction was I was shocked, but
yeah. When you
in
look at it,
yeah, looking at it from a wider perspective, it isn't that surprising because something was clearly wrong. It's the same players that we won the league with at Canter last year
yeah.
to then be 16th in the Premier League. It's just
It's
ridiculous.
crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know. Mourinho's a smart man. I feel like the betrayal thing was like lost in translation because I listened to it. I remember listening to it after. Personally, I don't really like to listen to press conferences after games. I just find them pretty boring, or like interviews. But I always want to hear what Mourinho's got to say. And it's in context. It seemed like he meant like they didn't execute the game plan. For example, first goal, Mares. He likes to cut in on his left and either go for goal, play it in like along the ground, or he likes to in swinging crosses. And he hit in swinging cross. That's something that Mourinho said. I want to stop. I want the midfield coming back to stop it on the left foot cross. I want that stopped, and Vardy between the two defenders. They're two things that he looked at. So when he said betrayal, it's kind of like they didn't execute his game plan, or maybe I'm trying to defend him. I don't know.
Yeah,
It didn't seem like he meant to say that, but I was more thinking about when he said, "Oh, yeah, I took them to a level that they probably can't replicate again, like my hard work." And it's kind of like, no, it wasn't just you. As a team, I wouldn't like to hear that from my manager
yeah. No,
personally.
it's going to come across in the wrong way.
That would have definitely annoyed
Yeah,
players.
I think betray. I think the word betrayal was
It was
too
just the wrong,
strong.
yeah, it was the
Yeah,
wrong choice of
wrong
words.
word. You knew what he meant. I think it was more a point of yeah, they weren't executing what he was doing. You know, he's one of the best managers in the world. He is
Mm.
obviously going to know how Mahrez and Vardy, you know, the key
Mm.
players for the opposition, how they like to play, like you say, cutting in on his left foot, Mahrez and Vardy making those runs, and obviously, yeah, the players didn't execute it. That I mean, I watched it, and to be fair, Azpilicueta obviously marking Mahrez for the entire game. The first, you know, he keeps tucking in, and
Mm.
he was just nowhere near him. And that's the kind of player in that form that you need to be right on him. You need to be up close
Yeah.
in his face, almost, you know, going within, you know, the laws of the game. Is actually, you know, give him a little kick. You know, like you know, you can't give that guy all that space, and he just had so much space to cross the ball for the first goal, and then
Mm.
to you know like to score the second goal.
That second goal, though, he got one glimpse of that bottom. You got one glimpse of that corner of the goal, and it was like it was a really good goal. I thought it was a brilliant goal
Oh
because
yeah, yeah, like the guy
yeah,
is in incredible form.
because he didn't do too badly, Aspilicueta, but one glimpse, and that was it. Boom, and it was a player in
Mm,
form and quality and of quality of Mahrez, and like the form he's in, he's gonna try it and it's gonna go in. Maybe someone else doesn't shoot there,
mm.
but just
Yeah,
is
I mean, the guy is in good form, and probably on another day maybe he wouldn't, but you know, someone else wouldn't
yeah.
score. But yeah, I mean that's the problem. You can't do that. So
Going back to the betrayal thing, like I was reading Pat Nevin, it was just last night. Nevin was
mm,
saying, "Oh, like I don't think he's going to be sacked," and I just think maybe betrayal in Portuguese is like it's not as extreme a concept. Like it's not. Maybe it's just different over there, like betrayal, but over here is like a very strong word. It's like is an extraordinary is it like he said
yeah,
is an extraordinarily strong word, and maybe it's not the same in Portugal, but I don't know. I don't know.
yeah. I suppose that's the thing. You know, there maybe is some kind of language,
Yeah,
you know, mix up
but
possibly, but I think the point he was trying to make still, you know, came across. But you know, he's probably doing it try and you know galvanize the players, sort of thing. But obviously, you know, something was going on,
mm.
which obviously
has there
it was
been a
kind of like,
point? Has there been a point this season when you thought, yeah, this is gonna be it. This is where we turn things around, like, and it just didn't happen. Was there a point, or is it
I've
just pretty
yeah
much?
probably yeah. It's not been it's not been too many to be honest. But I mean, you know, before I think it was probably well the Norwich game we won,
Mm.
obviously, albeit we didn't play well, but we still won. And then I think we played. Then we had Spurs, who we drew 0-0 with. We had like a couple of games where we had three games unbeaten. I think we beat Maccabi in the Champions League
Champions League.
4-0. And you know, so it's three games where we didn't concede a goal, and I was kind of like, okay, you know, we haven't played. Okay, they're not, you know, Maccabi and Norwich, obviously being where they are, not the best teams in the world, but going to Spurs in the form that they were in, and
Mm.
we looked quite good, and I thought, okay, maybe, you know,
Yeah, it
it's a
is.
kind of slow and steady, but
There's a
yeah,
Bournemouth game. The Bournemouth game seemed to be a major setback.
yeah, and then the Bournemouth game, it just goes back to that. So, I mean, that game we were awful. So, to be honest, they completely outplayed us
Mm.
at home as well. So, yeah, I mean, the main surprise for me a little bit is that okay, well, yeah, we're 15 games in, and we've lost 9 in the league. But if usually Abramovich would have never let it get that bad, so we never have left it that long. Mourinho would have been out, months ago probably. So it just kind of surprises me that he'd leave it longer, thinking that he's like, no, I'm going to stick with him. I'm going to back the manager and try and give Mourinho the chance to turn it round. And then he goes and sacks him and kind of just like throws it back in his face and goes kind of against what he is sort of, he was saying that he was going to do. So
must be a very frustrating season. It must be.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was to the point that he, with January coming up, that maybe if he gets someone in, he might say, okay, well, I might back you. I'll give you some kind of financial backing in the January transfer window. I mean, obviously, January is not a very good month to get, good players for cheap. So I don't really know what they could do, but maybe that's my only thinking. But
so should Guus Hiddink come in? It's going to be the 10th managerial appointment Abramovich has made since buying Chelsea in 2003. Like, that's crazy to me. I just can't believe that. I didn't even realize it was that many.
Yeah,
and Mourinho's taken up about 5.5 to 6 years of that. So well, my maths might be failing me there, but I'm pretty sure he would have been.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he was probably there about 5.5, 6 of those years.
Something like that, yeah. So Guus Hiddink comes in. What happens now? Like, what do you expect? Like, not even long term towards the end of the season, but what do you expect? Next 4 games, you got Sunderland home, Watford home, Man United away, Palace away. Like, what are we expecting?
Well, I mean, you would think if there was the issue with the players, that the players should be playing better.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're all, we've got quality players. So really, I mean, home games I would always expect to win. Really, I mean, obviously Watford are doing well, but I mean, we should be beating Sunderland at home. And then Man United obviously are not playing brilliantly. Obviously, they're not scoring loads of goals, but they're
kind of doing what you've not been doing this season. Not been playing great, but they've somehow been getting the wins. And they've not been conceding silly goals, really.
Yeah, their defensive record is probably what's saving them. So, but I mean, again, you would take probably a draw there. So, and then Palace again, another team that's doing well, but we should really be getting something out of that. It would we need a couple of wins, really. I'd take, a couple of wins out of those games, but I'm not expecting it just to happen, straight away. Guy comes in and then the players just go, oh, right, cool, I'm actually going to start trying now. So
yeah, but how many times does that happen? Like, you see it all the time. Like, a manager will leave, a team's been awful, a manager will leave, new guy comes in, and they just kick on, and it's like, what has happened there? But
yeah, and it does happen. So
do you reckon Guus Hiddink would be like a temporary until the end of the season, and then someone else will come in, or do you reckon that'll just be his job? Because obviously he's not been.
Yeah, I think it will be, if it is him or whoever it is. I think it will be temporary.
And then who will come in at the end of the season? Do you reckon, like, because I've heard Pep, this is like, it could be his last season at Bayern. Like,
apparently he's not going to renew his contract. So, and I know Abramovich, probably before we got Mourinho back, I know he did want Guardiola. He's a big fan. So that is definitely a possibility. But equally, Man United might want in. Man City, I know, are keen. Yeah. So obviously you've got competition for him, and then obviously Ancelotti probably won't come back. He might go to Bayern or whatever. So yeah, it's obviously maybe
it's like a big managerial merry-go-round. It's like Albert Square. Everyone's like getting new wives or something. What's going on? Like, everyone's swapping wives and sleeping with each other and that. Like, what's going on? Oh man, it is crazy. This season it's been different, different. Like, say what you want about Chelsea before Abramovich, but it's not been this bad. Like, this is bad.
No, no, like it's I've never known it this bad.
Yeah,
I can obviously I've been fortunate to be a fan most of the time when we've had the money, but I can
yeah.
remember back when in the late '90s and early 2000s, and even then
It
it
was
was
never
never
this
this
bad.
bad. We were maybe like sixth, seventh, and that, but we never like, probably not even in the bottom half of the table.
I'm really surprised it's going on this long. I just can't believe it's gone on this long because, like, I remember in I think it was late September. No, late. It would have been late August. It was still at the start of the season, and everyone was saying you're crazy to me because I was still saying, nah, I think Chelsea's still going to win the league. And that it was about 4 games in, and everyone's like, nah, nah, nah. It's like I even seen a video of someone saying earlier, 2 games in this was. I think 15 games in, Mourinho's going to go. I think he's lost his touch. I was like, what? What? Like, but he said it,
Yeah,
and
I mean,
it
the
came
idea
true.
of it at the start of the season.
Nah, I never thought it would ever get this bad.
No, no. Well, I think that's the thing. Like, even
I'm
you
looking
know,
at the team now, and I'm seeing Hazard, Falcao, Pedro, Costa, Oscar, Willian, Courtois, Terry, Fabregas, Vanovic, Matic. These are top players, like top draw players. Even
yeah,
Renan. It's crazy. I just don't understand.
well, it's a title winning team. It's
Mm.
still pretty much the same team. So, which makes it crazy to as to why we're in the position that we're in. But
Have you seen Thierry Henry and Cesc Fabregas's interview? They did an interview together. It's about 30, 40 minutes long. Have you seen it?
no,
If you haven't seen it, anyone listening and Christian, definitely have a
I
look.
will go
It's
watch it.
interesting. Yeah, it's interesting to see what Henri has to say. It was after the Leicester defeat as well, so it's interesting to hear what Henri has to say about what's going on at Chelsea. He's a man that always defends the players, if anything, but he couldn't find a way to defend the players this time. So it's pretty interesting to
No,
watch. But yeah, so before we finish, because I think we've covered nearly everything, I just wanted to ask end on a positive note, if possible. What is your favorite Mourinho memory? Favorite Mourinho Chelsea memory, like over the 2 times he's been there. What's been what's been the pinnacle of feeling?
Pro-
The
I don't
pinnacle.
know. Yeah, I probably. I mean, obviously, when we won the league the first time, that was pretty glorious, to be honest.
Mm.
um, yeah, I don't know. I can't really think of one moment. I
One
remember
moment.
the second season we won it in 05, 06, and he threw his medal into the crowd. I think that was always a moment that everyone remembers about
Yeah,
Mourinho.
because that's
And
just
I think that's
crazy.
yeah, it's one. But I think it just shows him, for like that he is like, despite he has his critics and that, but he is, you could say he's nuts a little bit, like I suppose
He
throwing a
is.
winners medal in there. But yeah, he's a character, to be fair, and I think that's the worst thing for the Premier League as a whole is that we're not going to have him back. Well, I
Yeah.
wouldn't. I don't think so. Who knows
Nah,
what will
nah,
happen?
nah,
Because I
nah,
don't
nah.
even think he will come back.
He'll never go. Nah, he'll never. That's it. I think that's him with Chelsea. That's done. That
I
is
think
done.
that's it. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's it. But
yeah.
it
That's
will
done.
be a different Premier League without him, one way or another.
It
He's
definitely will.
entertaining.
It definitely will. Well, it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen. And this season's been crazy, and we're actually not even halfway, and we've seen so much drama.
No,
But yeah, thanks for joining us, Christian.
no problem.
And
Hopefully, it'll be more positive come the end of the year.
if you've listened and liked it, just give us a like, subscribe to the Hang Sesh. We're out.